Just wanted to, you heard the introductions. I see you have your attorney. Would you please introduce yourself, please?
Yes, good morning. My name is Robert Hortzberg. I'm the attorney for Mr. Washington.
Robert who?
Hortzberg,
Spell that for me.
HJORTSBERG.
All right, Mr. Robert, we'll let you speak at the appropriate time. You have some input. All right, we're here for a parole revocation hearing. Please introduce yourself, state your name and DOC number.
Rene Washington DOC number 747409.
Okay, I'm going to read some rule violations. You can plead guilty, not guilty, guilty with a statement, or not guilty with a statement. We'll ask you some questions. Your attorney can speak when he needs to, and we'll take a vote. You understand the process?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Is that your signature at the bottom?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Rene Washington DOC number 747409. Rule violation number 4. You were arrested on 1/19/2023 by St. Bernard Parish Sheriff's Office under the item hashtag 2301-2429 for illegal carrying of a firearm and possession of drug paraphernalia. Your legal carrying of the firearm charge was not accepted, and you were not charged with being a convicted felon in possession of a firearm because you did not have an enumerated offense, according to the Assistant District Attorney of St. Bernard, Danny Dysart. How do you plead?
Not guilty.
Okay, number 5, you were arrested on 1/19/2023 St. Bernard under hashtag 2301-2429 for legal carrying of a firearm and possession of paraphernalia. Same situation. It was not accepted. You were not charged with being a convicted felon by the assistant DA. How do you plead to Rule 5?
Not guilty.
Right. Would you answer Mr. Roche's question, please?
Thank you, Mr. Counsel. Good morning, Mr. Washington. How are you?
Am I right? Good morning to you.
And I was on the panel last time, and you wanted to continue the case because your attorney was not available at that time, and you wanted your attorney to represent you, right? Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, so, Mr. Washington, I have reviewed your case for the second time. I've watched the entire videos that was supplied to us. I was with you the entire time on that traffic stop. I have video camera recording from both officers. I saw when the officer found the weapon in the front seat of the vehicle. I have read the information about the affidavit that it belonged to a friend named Chris. And basically, I know what caliber the gun was and everything. So basically, what's your explanation for pleading guilty to drug paraphernalia when that scale was found in the same backpack as the weapon?
Can I speak?
Yes, sir.
At the time, well, when they at the time, I was under the impression that those charges were all dropped until I was going to take this to trial, honestly. But the judge told me he was going to give me 30 days for credit for time served on there were just misdemeanors or something like that. And I didn't think anything of the drug paraphernalia or the gun charge being together or not. I just was thinking that I was trying to get this over with. Sir, I've just come home from jail 7 months before this.
Let me interrupt you. You pled guilty to criminal activity. And if you can think back when you went for your initial visit to your parole officer, Condition number 4, that you must avoid all criminal activity as part of your supervision, and you signed that contract,
Yes,
and you pled guilty to criminal activity. Plus, I have a video. I actually saw the police find a weapon in a vehicle that was running to you with the scale that you pled guilty. You said it was yours. Then I have proof that the affidavit that was submitted, the gun that was in the affidavit was not the gun that was found in a backpack. And the owner of that gun purchased it not from Academy Sporting Goods. He purchased the gun from Gretna Gun Shop, and that gun was stolen from him, and he had no idea that that gun was missing. So the affidavit, as far as I'm concerned, is null and void. Because the affidavit that your friend said it was his gun, it wasn't really his gun, because it was a different caliber and it was a different gun. So what's your explanation?
sir, I have no idea about anything about a gun. Sir, this whole situation is a misunderstanding, sir. That bag, whatever that was in that bag, sir, I had no knowledge of that, nothing dealing with the bag at all from the start. The bag, the person who I said had my car, that's who had my car. The person who took ownership of the bag and everything, that was the bag. He was also in that car. He took ownership of the bag of the gun. I don't know anything about the caliber of the gun or anything. At the moment, I didn't even know there was a bag in the car, honestly.
Okay, now, Mr. Washington, the gun that he took ownership of wasn't the gun in the back.
Sir, I don't know why. I don't know what's going on. What had nothing. I had nothing to do with any bag or any gun, sir.
Okay.
The person who said he left that in the car, I had nothing to do with any of those belongings, sir.
Oh, well, I have visual proof that the gun was in your possession, a car that was run by you, an affidavit that's null and void, and you pled guilty to criminal activity. Mr. Kelsey.
All right, got a question right here. Mr. Freeman, please answer Mr. Freeman's question.
Okay, how long have you been in jail?
At this moment, I've been in jail for about 7.5 months now.
7.5 months, and your good time date was in 22?
Yes,
Okay, what's your full term date?
my full term date. I'm not sure what's my full term date. I was released from prison in June 2nd of 22.
Mr. Freeman, his full-time date is September 3rd, 2025.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
All right, Mr. Bobby, would you like to make a statement?
Yes, sir. First of all, I just want to address the plea. I know that everybody at this table is very familiar with criminal offenses and the criminal justice system and how it works. If you're sitting in front of a judge and you believe that you can plead guilty to a misdemeanor and the judge is going to let you out and you're going to be, out of jail that day, I believe probably most of the people sitting at the table would do it. I don't think that that's a good indication that he necessarily, agree that he was culpable for that. I understand that entering a plea of guilty, you are accepting responsibility. However, the reality of it is, and the reality of the justice system is that is often done in order to do what they believe is in their best interest to get out of jail. Being in jail is a very bad place. And, when you're in that situation, sometimes you make desperate moves. Also, as far as the gun is concerned, I think you noted it multiple times that the felony charges were refused. It was a misdemeanor, illegal carrying of a weapon. I understand that there's some discrepancies in the affidavit. I think at a trial, he would have been able to clear that up. He was a little bit uncertain about the exact caliber of the weapon, when he was given the affidavit. So, that may be able to explain some of that confusion. And in addition to all this, other than this isolated incident, Mr. Washington was doing everything he was supposed to do. He was employed. He was having no problems with his probation and parole officer. In fact, they've even indicated to me they were surprised, when this came up. He's been in jail for 7 months now, so it's not like he's received zero punishment for this, anyways. I just don't think, under the circumstances, with everything that he has in his favor, that it makes sense to continue to detain him. I think he's certainly no danger to himself or to the community, and I think letting him back out at this point is the appropriate remedy.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Washington, would you like to make a statement on your behalf?
Sir, I'd just like to say this. Since I came home, I've been doing everything I can to I've been incarcerated one time in my life. This is my first time ever on parole or anything. I work, I get up every day and I work. Now this situation is a misunderstanding. The person who used my car, he is a trustworthy person. I also work with him, is a little cousin of mine. Now, the person that claimed the bag, the ownership of the bag, they just so happen to be in the car together. They both are, they're not criminals, no known criminals, no criminal background history. This is just a big misunderstanding. A big misunderstanding. The caliber of the gun, I had no knowledge of the caliber. I let the officer search the vehicle. If I had known that, we wouldn't be sitting here today. I would have not been in a car with a gun in the bag, sir. I have 4 kids. Jail is the last place that I'm trying to be in my life, sir. The last place. I work every day. I get up and go to work every morning. I'm not this is a misunderstanding, sir. A big misunderstanding.
All right. All right, thank you. All right, it's panel prepared to vote.
Yes, Mr. Council.
Or you want to take a session?
I'm good. I'm good.
All right,
Uh,
Mr. Brochet.
Mr. Washington. This is difficult for me because I have evidence of criminal activity. I have a video showing me that the gun was in your possession. False affidavits were submitted. There were signs of illegal drugs, even though you were not charged, but there were remnants of illegal drugs in the same backpack.
Sir, can I please say one thing?
I'm voting now.
Let him speak.
I'm voting now.
Rene, please don't say anything else.
I'm sorry.
There was a large amount of cash in your pocket. There is criminal activity in possession of a gun. So I find you guilty of violating condition number 4 and condition number 5 of your parole supervision contract. Therefore, I'm voting to revoke your supervision.
All right, Mr. Freeman.
Okay, Mr. Washington, it's a real tough case. You say you've been in jail 7 months, and what was the only charge you pled to?
Drug paraphernalia.
Drug paraphernalia. I'm gonna reprimand you. Give you credit for those 7 months that you've been in jail. And release you back on supervision.
All right, you have 1 vote to revoke, 1 vote to do not revoke. You know, you're right, the bad situation here. I hear you. You know, obviously we have the evidence that we see. That's, you know, it's disappointing. I mean, I know we hear all the time that, you know, it's just a misunderstanding, right? You hear that all the time. But you have served over 7 months. And so my vote today is going to be do not revoke as well. Going to send you back to supervision. And I'd like for you to take living in balance on the street. You know, while you're out there, take those, I think it's phase 1 and phase 2, take that class and continue with your stipulation. So you have 2 votes to do not revoke, 1 vote to revoke. Today your revocation is not revoked and you'll return to supervision
Thank you.
with the added stipulation.
Thank you, sir.
All right, and we'll return. Well, excuse me?
I just wanted to say thank you to y'all. I really appreciate it. I think y'all were very, very fair, and I appreciate the way you conducted the hearing for him.
Okay, just make sure he takes that class out there, okay?
Absolutely. He will not disappoint y'all, I assure you.
All right, we'll
Thank you.
adjourn at 8:32.
Thank you.